how I survived a massive online course. So the promise after this session, you will have, let's say, some tips coming from a survivor, who I am. So here I have two points before entering. So one is that I have the viewpoint from a survivorship bias. You know, in management, so those who were there can tell you the story, okay? Those who didn't come, okay, don't tell anything. And my viewpoint as faculty, and maybe students may have a different viewpoint, even if we know a bit, because we regularly ask feedback to them, as it happens in any other course. I would say, as an introduction, the big picture here is, at least in my mind, there are three elements that are changing nowadays. First item is that we, in the old paradigm, if I can call it somehow, people were coming to the school. So the academic institutions brought people interested here, and sometimes this institution could be very much far away. So Oxford is not in London, Padova is not in Milan. Okay, you go outside, you go there to learn from. Now, well, some people come, but many people, for many reasons, need or want to remain close to their workplaces, close to their homes, and so on. So people don't necessarily come, first point. Second point is content. So in the conventional model, business model, if we can call it some way, we create knowledge in management. We are the experts in creating knowledge and making top publications. And then this content is, I would say, cascaded into courses, executive education courses, master courses. So there's a content that is shared. Nowadays, this remains an important issue, but people are more and more looking for skills, to develop skills that may make them, I would say, employable all over their lives. They still need content, but this content changes. If I can tell you something from my experience, I have been teaching sustainability for a while, and sustainability changes rapidly. So where I teach now, maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to be, or 5 years, of course, going to be completely changed. Second idea, from content to skills. Third idea is pace. Academic institutions came from are very traditional, and for instance, we see this in the UK, where the name of the terms, academic terms, keep their original names. For instance, Michaelmas Lent term, yes, Easter term. Okay, instead of saying term 1, term 2, term 3, okay, terms are related to holidays, religious holidays, in a way keeping the tradition of the school. Well, the school has a pace related to, and here, well, we are having a different pace. Okay, people that need some content tomorrow, or maybe in 2 weeks. So they cannot wait for our our pace, our structure, our calendar, our horizon. So people coming, content and pace changes to people remaining, skills, and their own pace. You may remember about Christensen's disruption. I don't know how much we are going to be disrupted, but at least we begin to see some of this, particularly in ESSEC education. Well, what's the experience? What has been, because it's still ongoing, this experience. Let me tell you about so I'm going to explain you about the course itself, the story of this course, what we learned, and what not to do. 4 points. The course is a course, an introductory course to responsible leadership and sustainability and social responsibility. It was an initiative at the time from the director of the Grand École program, and we decided to make this as a mandatory course for all students at ESSEC. ESSEC is a school, for those of you who are not at ESSEC, it is a school that has activities in 3 continents. So if we need to make a course mandatory for all students, it means really a huge structure. And this was one of the reasons why the school decided to explore this format. Technically speaking, it's called a Small Private Online Course, or SPOC. Indeed, I think it's a misnomer at this point. I think because it's not small. It's not small at all. We have at 900 students per year in the Grand École, 600 students per year in the BBA, so it's not small. Okay. The course is at this point, I told you mandatory. It's now in this 4th year. Well, you may have known it got an award from the ESSEC Alumni Foundation, and it was featured in the Harvard Faculty Lounge. So the course is, I have here the course website. Maybe it's easier if I show the course website. And in the course website, you may see that we have a collection of readings. Maybe I can scroll down. Here I have a collection. So I have several modules. Each module is consists in a choice of readings, videos, interviews around this issue. Each module was given to, or the responsibility for each module was given to a different person. This represents a bit something about social responsibility, which is an issue that is quite, I would say, wide nowadays, not related to one particular area, one particular department. It happens that I am in accounting, but many other colleagues in different fields are interested or are related to this discipline. So it made sense from the very beginning to involve faculty nowadays from every department. I told you, so it's a collection of readings, interviews, activities that each student can follow at her or his own pace. So this course is asynchronous for the most of it, while we have some activities that are synchronous, which are the hangouts. There are occasions where we meet, we have some discussions, I propose some activities. Sometimes I will receive external practitioners. It's important to have this in mind, to have an exchange. And we also have, from this year, we explored with a business simulator. So we have a business simulator that represents a day in a life of manager, where the manager has to make decisions related to the content of the course. So we try to address several, or to make students learn from different angles. So they read, they write essays, they have quizzes, they have a simulation, they have the hangouts where we have the occasion to work together, and maybe we make breakout rooms. So what the course is not, sorry, maybe I should show a bit more the website. So in the website you have different modules. Each module has a collection of readings. For instance, module 2 is the module that is led by Emmanuel here in the room. And so, for instance, here we have the introduction, several readings that Emmanuel chose. And if you go further, you have inspiring stories. So here is a courtesy of Thierry Sibeud, who kindly shared with us stories from different companies. So we have 5 companies we have their stories, the interviews with their managers, documents, elements, so they can deep dive into a practical, a concrete story of a company. This is what the course is, and now I have to tell you what the course is not. So the course is not a recording of a conventional course. This is something that has been there for a while and is perfect, so for many reasons it is legitimate to register a conventional session, maybe for people who are not there, or for people who have trouble understanding the language or so ever. So it is, but this is not the case. It is not either a massive course where we have videos and participants have a mere, let's say, multiple choice quiz, okay, and they receive a certificate. We have several MOOCs like that, which are very legitimate, but it's not that what we want to do. Here we're more, if you see, on the side of a learning path, I would say a roadmap, during the trimester, where students at their own pace, but inside the pace of the trimester, they learn. They can do the modules fast, in 15 days, okay? And maybe there's some other things they can do that afterwards. They can do with some proposed pace. It's up to them. It's up to them. What we have the process of this course. I told you that we had I would say the chance of having several faculty involved. This helped a lot for not only for organization of the course, but also for its legitimacy. I would say internal legitimacy. So. And the decision from top management, because this implies an investment. So it's not just the effort of one person, it's an investment. I would say it's an institutional investment. It takes time, so the preparing this kind of course release took a lot of time, took the creation of a pilot, trial and errors, okay? So from the beginning to now, we changed a few things. And we are always adapting, improving, so it's a living process. Well, I would say that nowadays, I could say that this kind of format is a very different format that has its own rules. So we shouldn't compare it to the conventional course. It's a too easy comparison. We need to escape the, I would say, if I will allow me, the low cost positioning. So here we have experts in marketing in the room, and if I say this is low cost because, okay, I mean, this is not the case, we need to play on the strong points. The strong points is that we can bring different people, which is very difficult to have in I would say in a physical course. We can bring visitors from abroad, so usually have participants from any part in the world. Those visits are recorded, so they remain in the course and that can be played with in the future. We can contrast, compare, or pair, if you wish, couple academic readings with interviews. I did it several times. I have the academic reading and the interview with its author, which makes the reading far more lively. This format also allows for constant update. A new reading appears, a novelty appears in the market, in whatever, we can put it rapidly. So it's quite flexible. There's a convenience issue for students, particularly those who are traveling or are doing internships. So this can be quite helpful in that sense. So I think that instead of making a too easy comparison between a conventional session, physical session, and this kind of course, we need to insist to play on the strengths and escape or reject any low-cost positioning. If you want a metaphor, I wouldn't say that I don't want to go to the movies, to the cinema, because I want the real theater. No, the theater is a format, a legitimate format. Cinema is a legitimate format as well. Each one has its rules. I can have a play in the theater and have a movie, different formats. I wouldn't kill the cinema in order to save the theater. Each one of them has their own rules, and they will coexist in the same way that television didn't kill the radio, or cinema didn't kill the theater. Each one of them has a role, a position, a usefulness that have to be combined. What not to do, what to be careful about. Well, I think that this kind of proposition works very well for introductory courses. So here we need to have an introduction to a particular field. It doesn't need to be social responsibility. It could be any other discipline, where I need to train rapidly a large amount of people homogeneously. So remember, we have 3 sites. We need to have all people in our program having a comparable level at the same time. So in that case, this kind of course, is the logical proposition. I wouldn't use it for, I would say, for an elective course where I need to explore the latest advances in the field. For that, we have, or I happen to have myself as well, an elective course. And there's another story, and the elective course is physical, and we exchange, and we discuss, and we have cases. That's another story. Something else that maybe is another challenge is that during the pandemic, I feel there is still perhaps, the pandemic is not over, a confusion, because if some courses are online, the conventional courses that switched to online format, well, they're not the same. Okay, in terms of pedagogics, it's not the same. So to some extent, what we have, if I can call it a conventional Zoom course, tries to mimic, okay, or to do the best possible from the initial design, which was physical, conventional course. Here, this course is born digital. It doesn't exist in the physical world. So from the very beginning, this course, its concept, its pedagogics, its, I would say, its learning path is born digital. Then the point about production and running. So we may have the impression that once that we have the videos made, we have the website created, the readings chosen, okay, that's done, okay. No, far from this. The running of the course is as important, I would say more important than its creation. So there's no end in this story. You have the hangouts. You have, I didn't told you much about evaluation, because in our course we chose, maybe it could be the choice could be different in some other courses. Here we choose that students make quizzes which are multiple choice, which are automatic, based on a selection of questions that rotate every trimester, but they also have to prepare essays. And grading essays is complicated. We adopted a model and we developed a model based on peer assessments from students themselves. This peer assessment is supervised, so it's not that it's not automatic. We track this. There's some methodology for making sure that the grading goes well. But well, it's a lot of effort, so it's not automatic. We have to track this, to accompany this. Then there's another issue here is that well, I teach sustainability, but in my origin I continue to teach it sometimes management and control, management accounting, and there's a theory about observable and non-observable effort. So in this course, there's a lot of effort on the side of faculty, which is non-observable. Okay, I told you before about updating the course. I told you before about well, the hangouts are observable because they see you, but all the grading, the takes a lot of time, is not observable. So somebody may feel, okay, that the course is automatic. There's a machine there and goes itself, okay, automatically, and that's it. Well, so I would like to devote the most of this event meeting to discussion, which is more interesting than just merely sharing my experience, because I imagine most of you, maybe all of you, already have some experience in this. I would only say that to encourage you, go for it, make your best attempt at doing it. It's a legitimate format. It makes a lot of sense. There's a promise on it. Don't accept the low-cost positioning, and try to do your best.